Well, this week, Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers vetoed the Republican-written bill to deal with water contamination from forever chemicals called PFAS, a bill that was first introduced back in May of 2023.
Now, as we've reported, the town of Campbell has been dealing with the issue for nearly 4 years. News 19's Roger Staffaroni spoke with a local advocate and one of the bill's authors about what happened and what's next.
SB 312, in my opinion, was not a good bill.
This week, Governor Tony Evers agreed, vetoing the bill introduced back in May of 2023 addressing PFAS, or forever chemicals.
There were a lot of problems with it. One of the biggest problems is it didn't create a pipeline for the $125 million that's in the PFAS Trust Fund.
That $125 million was already approved in last year's state budget. However, it hasn't gone to any of the communities currently affected by PFAS, like the town of Campbell.
So it's been sitting there for nearly a year. All of the communities like Campbell, like Peshtigo, like Stella, Rhinelander, Wausau, Madison, so many others, we're relying on being able to access those funds.
But one of the authors of SB 312, the PFAS bill, was Republican State Senator Eric Wimberger of the 30th District. He said letting the Wisconsin DNR have first access to the money isn't the way to do it.
To say that there's a problem with, or there should be a release of funds to pay for what? There's no discernible plan. So the quote unquote plan that the DNR has provided in what is called 1310 request to the Finance Committee is just saying, well, we want $30 million for this and $40 million for that.
In addition to accountability of where the money goes is the accountability of who is responsible for PFAS on a property. Donahue says the bill lets polluters off the hook.
It undermined the spills law and the DNR's authority to hold polluters responsible.
But Wimberger disagreed, saying that the bill stopped a broader definition of emitter when determining PFAS responsibility.
The airport is an emitter. They're the ones who put it in the ground. But then everyone on French Island is also an emitter because it's traveling through their property to, the water source, so to speak.
Lee says it's been too long, and small communities like Campbell are ready to take the next step forward.
We're relying on being able to access those funds so we can have a safe alternate source of water, a long-term alternate, not just a short-term of bottled water.
So there are ways that can get people clean water. I'll still work on those efforts. I'll certainly try to convince the governor that he made a mistake.
In La Crosse, Roger Staffaroni, WXOW News 19.
And Governor Evers announced this week that he is calling for a special meeting with the Joint Committee on Finance to try to release those $125 million in funds that were earmarked in the budget to fight PFAS contamination.
And the special session set to take place next week on Tuesday.